Yo, what's up, people? Hope you're good. I know I'm not Aaron. But here's the thing. Like Ollie, when he's about to get sacked, Aaron will always come back. You know what I'm saying? He will be back. So don't worry. We'll get the show on the road and we're just going to have a good time. Aaron will be here. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Welcome to That United Show. Not on our normal day. We're normally on Sundays, but because of the Arsenal game, we have to cancel it. And yo, what a time to cancel, boys. You know what I'm saying? We love to see the Arsenal tears, especially when we have to give up our showtime. But guys, I'm joined by Manny and joined by Indiana. And he made his debut the other day, but then disappeared. I'm guessing due to Wi-Fi. But we've got Daniel here with us as well. Give everyone, show some love in the comments, guys. Guys, how are we all doing?
Yo, I'm cheesing, man. I'm good. Finished work not long ago. I'm just happy this week. I don't even know why, man. I'm just mad happy. Maybe it's because I'm not seeing Manchester United play football. So, boy, I don't know, but I'm just happy, man. I'm good, bro. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Lockdown 2 in full effect, but we still out here. I'm still doing midnight vibes. You know what that means? Vibes all that lockdown, fam. Indiana, is this your debut from the start on the United show?
No.
But second appearance.
I think I've been on second or third, yeah.
Second or third appearance. We'd love to see that. How are you doing, my friend?
Tired, man. I've got 2 young children. What do you think I'm doing? 2 little babies running around. Bedtime now, chill time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. I feel you. And then Daniel, welcome. How are you feeling, bro?
We got a win going into the international break, so I'm all right. Normally I'm more depressed, but we got a win going into the international break. So United didn't ruin my next 2 weeks, so we move, man. We move.
Nah, that's good. We literally, I was watching the Arsenal show earlier, and it was very an interesting watch. Like they felt watching them made me kind of go back in time to when we lost 6-1 before the international break and the way we were feeling. Yeah. So all the questions about the club, the players, the manager, all coming out in that show. But if you guys haven't watched that, please go over to you're on the Football Terrace. After the show, go watch the show. Go watch that Arsenal show. Show them some love over there. If you guys can do us a massive favor, smash that like button for me, please, guys. That will help the channel and the show a lot. We'll much appreciate that. Share the video while we're at it. And also, subscribe to the Football Terrace. We want to see 200K. That's what we're aiming for. Come on, guys. Road to 200K. So, yeah, smash that like and subscribe button. Right, let's just get straight into it. There are many talking points that we can talk about, but I feel like I want to save Ollie and Poch towards the end, and hopefully Aaron can take the lead on that. Well, let's talk about something that I think pops up every single year. I was surprised that last year it didn't pop up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about Paul Pogba leaving Man United. It's about the one and only Cristiano Ronaldo returning to Manchester United. These reports continue to show up, like I said, multiple times throughout the season. Manny, I'll go straight to you, bro. Like, what do you make of these reports? Do you think there's something in there, or do you feel like it's just nonsense coming out of the paper again?
No, it's nothing, man. I think Ronaldo's just looking for a new contract, man. Ronaldo just wants a new contract, and he's something new. I don't know what he's on. Let me just guess and say maybe 600-700 bags a week. Probably wants that a meal a week, you know what I mean? So he's never come back to Manchester United. Who will want to come back to Manchester United like this? Come on, man. It's not even debatable right now. It's just papers, man. It's international break, you know what I mean? Just like the same way, always when Pogba goes international break, something comes up. I think it's just where it is, man. They're just looking to sell papers, man. Ronaldo back. Listen, if Ronaldo comes back here, we need to buy Kevin De Bruyne, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Grealish, because we don't create nothing, and these man create. So, boy, if Ronaldo's gonna score 40 goals a season, with this team, it will never happen.
No,
Maybe
listen.
15 of it, and 8 of it will be penalties, bruv. In this team, listen, buy Ronaldo, you need to buy 10 more players because he ain't the same player he used to be.
Nah, that's true. That's true. You know what? If Ronnie comes back, screw it. Bring back Fergie as well, innit? Like, why not? Why
Well, you
don't we
might as
all
well,
the way?
but bring Patrice Evra. We need a left back, so bring back Patty. Who else? Bring everyone back, bruv, because right now
Bring
the
Tevez
team
back.
is crap, bruv.
Terrace is still playing. Little cheeky 6-month contract and that. You know what I'm
You get
saying?
me?
Like, you're balling out there in Argentina with Boca Juniors, fam. Daniel, Ronaldo to United. Is this something that you would love? Is this something you generally want to see as a fan? Would you want to see that happen?
Ooh.
Oh,
The Glazers are at his house.
the Glazer internet kicking in.
It's an easy headline to make. Ronaldo, Man United, with the press. We want some good vibes back.
Oh, the delay is mad. Yeah, just keep going, Daniel. Hopefully your internet will sort itself out.
No, I was saying, like, it's an easy headline to... Yeah, let me jump back.
You know what? Yeah, I ain't seen this much pixels since
it's just an easy
the
headline
big
to
back
make. You ain't
TVs.
coming, get out your head. It's an easy headline to make. Ronaldo, Man United, get out your head. I'm not even trying to get into this one, fam. Less of that.
All right, cool. I'll come back to you in a moment, Daniel. Maybe your internet will stop trying to fight itself. It is struggling. I don't know what you're downloading in the background, fam, but you might need to get that checked out. We got a super chat here from Josh Sutton. He says, "Man, it looks like he's gonna sell me a Rolex from a trench coat. Big up,
Listen,
mate."
anything you need, anything you want, I got it at a discounted price.
Hey, come on now. We love to see that. Everyone, go smash the like button for Manny's Rolexes. You know what I'm saying? Go follow his Twitter as well. I'm pretty sure if you DM him, he'll get some.
I'll hit you up. It's like, don't worry, man. I got deals for you.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
get me? I'm Groupon, boy. I'm Groupon.
All right, Indiana. Okay, so Ronaldo, he is obviously one of the best players in the world. Arguably the GOAT. Depends what fence you sit on. Do you think this would even be good for Man United to bring him back?
I don't know. I seen him linked to Wolves as well. Like Wolves.
Huh?
I seen him linked to Wolves this morning.
No, stop it.
Yeah, no, I'm not even joking. There's a link to Wolves, but this Ronaldo thing happens every year. It's like a public holiday now. It's just like
that's how you know it's lazy journalism.
Yeah, it's
linked to Wolves,
just,
you know.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, I'll send you it after. But you know, it's just they're bored, aren't they? The media are bored. What are they going to do?
No, that's true. Do you think it would help United though?
I do in a way, but not him on his own. I think him and other players still need to come in. It's not going to fix anything, is it? Just Ronaldo coming in. But like, would you take Ronaldo up front right now? Yes, you would. You would take Ronaldo up front. You wouldn't say no to Ronaldo in any team. It's Ronaldo. But yeah, he's not going to fix all the problems at Man United, is he?
Yeah, but you know what it is, yeah? True. Oh, so do you know what it is? I think like the people that will probably say, yes, I'll take Ronaldo now, yeah. Like, okay, yeah, you will take him, yeah, but you need to look at it, yeah. I think Ronaldo's 37 years old, yeah. He's if I don't know if you watch Juventus play, but if Ronaldo don't do a lot of running anymore. He sprints and he probably makes about 10 sprints during the whole game. Other than that, he doesn't do no running no more. You have to play for Ronaldo. And in our team, we don't even know who we're playing for. We don't know what we're doing. So if Ronaldo was to come back, it just wouldn't work. As much as I would love to see him come back, it just wouldn't work, man. It just wouldn't work. And I think like we just need to forget about that dream. I got sucked into it. When was it? I think it was like 2.
Wait, sorry to cut you off, Manny. The captain is back. The captain is back.
My apologies. I've let my teammates down. I've sincerely apologized for being late. Sincerely apologize. What's going on, people? How are we doing today? First of all, KJ, thanks for taking over. Thanks for having my back.
No problem, man.
How are we doing, gentlemen? How are we doing today?
Good.
Yeah, my good, man. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're moving like Bruno, bro. How can you be late, captain, man? Come on, man. The performances are moving a bit iffy right now, Carrie.
And still carry us.
Yo.
Man. That's the Bruno we love.
Oh yeah, come on now.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. And I'm coming with good news, man. I'm hearing Donny van de Beek scored again. Listen, I don't know what it takes for this guy to get a start in it. Obviously, he got the start against Istanbul. He got taken off very early. But I think this is just another proof in it. I don't know what someone saying Aaron sacked in the morning. Come on, guys. A bit
Listen,
of sympathy,
if
man.
Aaron gets sacked here before Oli, I'm gonna lose it.
Yo, people are going mad in the
I'll
comments and
leave.
Aaron sacked in the morning.
Yeah, sacked. Yo, listen. Imagine if you got sacked, I got sacked, and Anita all got sacked before Ali got sacked at United, fam. Like, yo, get Terry to be owner of Man United, fam, because he'll get stuff sorted, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me. But yeah, guys, fill me in. I don't know what you guys have talked about already, what you haven't talked about, and then we'll...
Yeah. So we just basically started. We started off with Ronnie coming back to Man United with all these reports coming up again.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Let's start with you, KJ. Cristiano Ronaldo, Mr. CR7 himself, back to Manchester United. Personally, I just think it's rumours to stir a bit of shit up. Do you know what I mean? Like the media always does. And obviously, linking Ronaldo to Manchester United is probably the perfect thing to do in terms of clicks and hits. So, yeah, I personally, I don't think he'll come back. I see him more likely to go to PSG or something like that. Because obviously, the money, the sponsorships, he's sponsored by Nike, they're sponsored by Nike. That would be a perfect fit as well with the Jordan sponsorship there. So that would literally be a match made in heaven and yet another opportunity for him to win more trophies. So personally, I just think it's all like, it's just media talk. I don't know what you think, KJ.
I flipped it now. So I was asking this question. Now I'll get to answer it. It's all dumb. I don't know where the sources come from. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Ed Woodward. I really wouldn't, because he loves a little bit of a PR, and he knows people love Ronnie in it. So my man's been linked to us every single year, except like I think last year, to be coming back to us. So I think it's nonsense. And in terms of like the club itself, this would be such a dumb move if we actually did it, because I feel like him coming back with the wages that he's on, with how much we would have to change as a team, it wouldn't help us whatsoever. We're just about trying to find our feet about what we are in the first place anyway. Then bringing Ronaldo into the mix, he's gonna want the 7 shirt, so man's gonna be scrapping with Cavani. We don't want to see two old men be fighting on, like, you know what I'm saying, in the OP home. We're not allowing that. So this is and this is it. It's just like there's a lot more than just having Ronaldo that makes this a bad deal. Would I love to see him? Yes, I would love to see him. I would love to see him back at Man United for a testimonial, fam. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time I want to see him in United shirt again, or if he's modelling for us.
But to be fair, this guy could go on and play till he's about 40 or something. So with the form that he's in, what do you think, Indiana, man? CR7, like I said, to me it's all media talk, but I don't know what you think.
Yeah, it's all media talk, but you still love to have him at the club, wouldn't you? You still love Ronaldo back. Everyone would love that, and I agree with you. I think he'll be playing till he's 40. He's a top professional and athlete. Takes good care of himself, and I do think he can perform in the Premier League still. The only question I would have is why would you bring Ronaldo back now? That's not our priority. And could we take Ronaldo back now? We can't even get rid of Phil Jones on 100 or 80 grand a week, whatever he's on. Like, we don't be messing up the wage bill anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, nah, he's not coming back. He's going to Wolves, apparently. He's going to Wolves.
I mean, with all them Portuguese man there, listen, I wouldn't rule it out. You know what I mean? I'm here.
You're basically playing for the national team.
I'm ruling it out.
I am not. You know what? I am not. You know how Wolves operate? Yeah, they do some dodgy business behind the scenes. Like
that's the thing, bro. And you know their ties with George Mendes. Like, there's
ain't that Ronaldo's agent anyway?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because now I'm hearing, I've listened to some German media, and they're linking Wolves with, what's that midfielder's name again with the dreads? Renato Sanchez.
No.
So, do you know what I mean? Yet another Portuguese in the Wolves squad. Manny,
the national team. Sorry.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, Manny, what do you think, bro? CR7, the man himself, back at Old Trafford, yes or no?
I'm not having it, man. I'm not having it. Like, you said it. I've said it before. Everyone said it. It's just paper talk, man. It's just paper talk. And I just found out that he was linked to Wolves in the morning. Come on, man. Listen, man. Listen, are we actually taking this serious? Like, no, listen, you get high blood pressure if you're going to take this thing serious. Ronaldo will not come back. He will never come back. Man, he ain't even going to come back as an ambassador, bro. Listen, it's done. Ronaldo left here, and he ain't coming back. Get used to it. You get me?
I'm not even an ambassador.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it, bruv. He's not, bruv. Listen, bruv. You know, every time, this is how I know he was not coming back. Every time Ronaldo talks about Manchester United, Alex Ferguson is in that same sentence. Alex Ferguson is in that same sentence. If you ask him, what do you think of Manchester United? Oh, Manchester United are great, blah, blah, blah. When I was there, Alex Ferguson look after me. Boom. As long as Sir Alex is not he will never be the manager again. But the moment he retired was the moment Ronaldo said, F United, boy. So
it's got to be France or Germany. He's got to go France or Germany. You'd think he'd want to just go around Europe and mop up as many
I
titles
potentially
as
think you
possible.
get a new contract, though, in all honesty.
Nah, they know. Ronaldo's
Yeah,
contract is killing them, bruv.
That's what I'm hearing as well. Like, they're really
but I think it's only killing them because they haven't won the Champions League yet. I think they brought him in to win the Champions League. Yeah, I think if you win the Champions League, how much is that? Like 150 M's?
I don't know.
I'm not too sure.
Like
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But now, Manny, I'm sorry. Like, even with the Champions League money, like obviously because of COVID as well, them man are suffering out there. So like keeping a Ronaldo on their wage bill
is killing them.
Mad.
Yeah,
it's mad.
Because of his wages, isn't it?
In that case, if it's true, then it's PSG for me, man.
Yeah.
Ronaldo needs to challenge. Yeah, he's a winner. You get. I was watching Rance's channel and he said it there. He was like, Ronaldo is a winner. If he's going to any other team, he's going to go to a team where they're winning. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to come to Manchester. We're in the transition period, yeah. Do you know, bro? Where are we in the table? 14th in the table.
Yeah.
You think man's coming? Yeah, new challenge at 37 years old. Nah.
To be fair, that is a challenge.
That's a challenge. Yeah, and we all know Ronaldo loves challenges.
That is a challenge.
Bro, that's more than a challenge, bro.
You know what? I've always said this. I don't know why, but I can see it. I can see him go back to Sporting, you know, like maybe not right now, not next move, but the last move that he makes, go back home, go to Sporting.
He's not his last move yet, KJ. Though he's got so much life in him, like as a player. The way the condition he keeps himself in, like he's still at the top level, and although he's moved up to the number 9, like look at Zlatan.
39 years old. I think that's just. I think him and Zlatan, Ronaldo and Zlatan are probably the proof that if you take care of your body well, like good enough, you can play to whatever age, innit? I mean, I don't think people understand. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is 39 years old. Yeah, when he left Manchester United to go to Los Angeles, I literally said, even though I rate this guy highly, I said, okay, he's finished. He's done. He's going there to retire, collect his money. He's living in LA, living a good life, the American life. Like, he's going to collect his money and that's it. Then he comes back to Europe and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if he can still do it. And here he is, banging in goals, top scorer in the Serie A, top of the league with AC Milan, who I thought were finished. Do you see what I mean? So, and I know people are going to come at us with, and it's a Farmers League. Yeah, everyone used that comment. So, but yeah, I want to ask Danny, imagine, bro, 31st of August, 2021, Fabrizio Romano goes, CR7 to United, here we go. What would your reaction be?
I'd have to question whether I'm awake or not. I'd have to assess what I was doing the night before. Like, nah, it's never. It's just, you know what it is? I'll be honest with you. I'm angry at Ronaldo, you know. I'm vexed with him. Like, the way he used our name when he was never coming back. He left when we was at the top of the mountain. He left when we was at the top of the food chain. Bounced to Madrid, and for years, I always loved United. You never know. Man just wanted a new contract. Then eventually Real Madrid were like, all right, he wants a new challenge. His wages are killing us.
Yeah,
it's
hinder ridiculous.
What we can do. Juventus had to do a madness to get him. And even they're like, well, we've won 7 league titles in a row. If we don't get the Champions League, this Ronaldo thing's really fun. They bought him for the Champions League.
Yeah,
that's why they've got him. And they've got no closer. They were close to the Champions League when Dybala was their star man, not Ronaldo. So they're hemorrhaging money. I think he's on like 600 grand a week after tax.
That is ridiculous.
That's mad.
So,
And you just mentioned the Champions League there. I think in the 2 years that Ronaldo...
if you think the Glazers are a bit funny with money now, let them take them wages on and you see. We'll buy Ronaldo and that's it. No more transfers for the next.
We're done.
And you just mentioned the Champions League there. I think in the 2 years that Ronaldo's been there and they played in the Champions League, obviously this is his third. They've been, and it's one thing getting out of the Champions League, crashing out, but it's the team that crashed out against. I mean, Ajax absolutely battered them. You've got to be honest to say that.
Have they got past the quarters?
No. But the year after that, the Champions League that just gone now, they lost to Lyon, and I'm just like, guys, we can't take you serious if you lose to Lyon, man. With all due respect, but guys, let's welcome Terry to the show, man. The OG himself.
I was working and I was listening. I was like, I'm gonna join in. I'm on board.
Guys, remember to smash the like button on this video. Let's get this. Let's get the views up. Let's get the likes up. Subscribe to the channel as well. As you can see at the bottom of your screen, it's rolled to 200k, and we're not far off, man. We're hitting that 200k very, very soon. And also, subscribe to the newsletter so that you know exactly when we're live, what video is going live, and who's live as well. Because obviously we've got different shows on the Football Terrace. So make sure you do all of these things. Terry, I don't know what you're going to say, but I just have a funny feeling like it's going to be something that's going to make us laugh.
Terry, have you had any red tonight?
No.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Cool.
But I still know what he's going to say is going to be funny. Like I just know. CR7 back to Old Trafford.
Do you know what it is, right? For 20 odd years, I've been waiting for the sequel to the Goonies, and it hasn't come. Right? Every day I log on to like an entertainment meeting. I wait for the announcement. What?
Yo, Manny, you okay, bro? I just look up and Manny's almost dying, bro.
True, right? I've been waiting for that sequel for years. I remember Josh Brolin years back, like fully grown Josh Brolin. Man just did No Country for Old Men. They're like, would you come back and do Goonies 2? He's like, yeah. I nearly spit my tea out, right? Every time, about once a month, I Google like new Harry Potter book, waiting because it's going to happen. The hope is one day J.K. Rowling says, I'm doing the next Harry Potter, right? There's always the Sopranos are going to come back. Tony Soprano, well, you know, we always want, he's dead now, the real guy.
That one will be hard, Terry. Yeah, that'd be really hard.
That one's really hard. But the point is, we always hope and pray these iconic things are going to happen. Ronaldo returning. The problem is, I love Ronaldo, but he's just too old now. He might still be one of the top 3, top 4, top 5 players in the world, but it just doesn't make sense at the money you'd have to pay. If he said, like, I'll come back for 80 grand a week, I'll be like, sweet. But the guy's going to come at like 500, 600 grand. It just can't happen.
But, okay, so let me put it like this to you. We said the same thing about Gareth Bale when he supposedly was going to return at first, of course, to Spurs. And then we all talked about the wages is too much. I don't know how much they're paying him, but he's back. He's there. So,
Rob, have you not
noticed?
I mean?
We could say the same thing about
early days, but Gareth Bale looks old, bruv. It looks like I'm watching Last of the Summer Wine.
Yeah.
He can't run anymore.
Yeah, he's looking hella stiff.
So he did a bit of skill when he went in the box against West Ham. He missed because that hurt his hips. You can tell he was like,
Oh, Bell.
Fernando Torres 2.0. That's what I call that miss.
Come back to the England for one reason. He's getting that free hip replacement on the NHS straight up, 110%. Do you know what I mean? Didn't have the points to get it done in Spain.
Yeah,
It'd be different though, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be different if we were challenging for titles and then you brought in Ronaldo and he was like the missing piece to get you through the Champions League or for those big moments? That's very different. We're not in a place to want a Ronaldo.
Man is shaking his
right now,
head,
need
bro. Man is like, nah, bro.
No.
Why are you shaking your head for?
Do you know why, yeah? Bro, we're winning. I can't even imagine it because it's so long ago. But imagine if we're winning like titles, Champions League after Champions League, sending that little man then winning the FA Cup and the League Cup, you know. And Ronaldo says he's linked to us, yeah. I'll be like, oh yeah, it's great for a great player like Ronaldo to be linked to us, but we're doing okay, brother. We don't need you. You get me? So I don't know, like if we were winning, yeah, it would be nice to be linked to Ronaldo because he's the world's greatest player. Him and Messi, innit, both of them. But if we're winning, we don't need him.
Oh,
Do you know
You know what I mean?
Guys,
I
how
think
about
the only
this?
reason why we're being linked to him right now, yeah, is because
in a week's time, Mike Tyson's fighting Roy Jones Jr. I don't really want to watch that. That's two greats, like, but they're old men beating each other up in a car park. Like it. That's how I'm gonna
See,
feel.
as Terrace said this, that would be Cavani and Ronaldo fighting over the 7 shirt.
It's not gonna feel the same. You know what I mean? It's just. Oh yeah. Nah. It's.
How about this, guys?
I've
got it
as well.
I've got it.
That worked crazy.
Ronaldo comes back to United as a coach, doing his coaching badges. Why not, blood? Why not?
Ronaldo is never going to be a coach here. I see.
I don't know if Ronaldo wants to be a coach. I don't know.
And then he becomes the United manager straight after.
No, Ronaldo. In all seriousness, he'll do what Beckham's done. He'll get his own team in America.
Yeah, definitely.
It's these guys, monetary wise, they're just next level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
You reckon you call it Ronaldo 7 FC? I can see him do it.
But you know what? I think he loves himself so much, he'd probably do it.
Yeah.
CR7 FC. That's what it will be. CR7 FC.
After his mum, you know, he loves his mum. His mum's always there, isn't it? She's just
Dolores.
He'll probably call the training ground after.
Wait. Where would he put it though? What state? What place would he put?
It has to be hot because he likes to take his shirt off. That's true, bro.
Listen, it has to be hot because he has to take his shirt off. And
it has to be in California.
Yeah,
Cali.
why not?
Has to be in Cali.
I can literally see Ronaldo, being the chairman of his new club, His team wins. Bear in mind, he's the chairman. He's sitting in a box, executive box, and all these things.
Man,
they win a game.
Some whole shit.
He comes down from the executive box onto the pitch, takes his shirt off, and just goes, "See."
In the MLS, I could see him playing for another 5-6 years over there because that league is
it could.
Terrible.
Yeah,
imagine if Ronaldo and Messi end up on the same team in the MLS. I would love to see that.
That's what I'd like to see over there.
Beckham, make it happen. Beckham, make it happen, bro. You're the man.
For the beauty of the game,
Messi's a tyrant. It would never happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you've come to the twilight years of your career, Ronaldo and Messi on the same team. But that would be sick, you know.
You basically, the MLS needs to do it. The Expendables, isn't it? The Expendables. Get all these old, get Lewandowski and Ronaldo and Messi, and then get all the other old man.
Yeah,
and see if they can win the league in it. Like,
super chat here from Yasir saying, "KJ, what are you sipping? If CR7 comes back, the number 7 shirt is his. Cavani can fight and cry all he wants. Just imagine Messi v Ronaldo in the EPL." I think he's alluding to Messi to City.
No, I don't want to. I just don't want to see this. I feel like it's going to tarnish their legacy because this is a hard league, and Messi's the second greatest player of all time. But he's older now. It's the EP. Don't do it to you. So don't take the risk to get what I mean.
Wait. Did you casually just drop that, by the way? Did you guys hear that? Man was like, Messi's just the second greatest player.
Yeah, no, I was gonna.
He's not for me. He's not for me. In my opinion, he's not.
But second greatest of all time.
Who's the first and the second for you, Indiana?
Ronaldo's in there. But for me, it's a personal preference. Ronaldinho was like my favorite player, and I thought he was the greatest player I've ever seen with the ball at his feet.
Great. See, I have a thing about greatest and best. So I would say Ronaldinho's got a shout at being the best, but not greatest, because the reason why Messi and Ronaldo go there is they're the only two players that I've been able to find where they've become best in the world, but they've maintained that level for like 10 to 15 years. Yeah. When you look at all the other European greats, they normally have a 3 or 4 year period where they're at the level these guys are at, and then either side of that it dips. They're always at a good level, but it dips quite dramatically, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's injury. I think the greatness of those two is just unprecedented. But in terms of ability, that's the thing with those debates.
I'm with you.
They're too hard. And I only really talk about players I've watched, because like my dad will say, "Yeah, but what about these 5 people?" And like, Dad, they retired before I come out your ballsack, mate. Like I can't chat about, man. Like I've seen, I know how good George Best was, but I've only seen video footage of it. Like I can't assess, so I just look at it from like 19.
Unless you're Ram. Rams apparently saw Maldini play.
VHS Ram.
He got a couple. His dad bought him a couple of VHS, and actually he's too young for VHS. His dad bought him a couple of DVDs at Christmas one time, and he thinks he's a Maldini expert. It's mad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Guys, remember to smash the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel's road to 200K. Get involved in the live comments. People are saying Zidane's the GOAT, Ronaldinho's the GOAT. I'm seeing people saying Ronaldinho's not even top 5. No, I wouldn't say that. Someone saying Neymar or Ronaldo.
Fernandes is better than Zidane, man. Don't do that. Much more goals than
my man said,
did I hear that right? Did he say Bruno Fernandes is better than Zidane?
Yeah. Bro,
just in case anybody who lacks brain cells is wondering, That is called sarcasm. I just thought I'd everybody's like, I can't believe what I just heard Terry say. You know what? The people that can't understand sarcasm, they are literally the people that Jeremy Kyle used to like recruit for his show. You know, just get them on. No brains, no teeth. Do you know what I mean? Mad.
No brains, no teeth.
Another super chat from Yasser again saying, I don't know how I feel like Ronaldo will go crazy in the Premier League. If Jamie Vardy can score goals at the age of 32, he's 33. Ronaldo can score goals at 36. And we have got a new member at the Football Terrace, Franco Rojas. New member of the Football Terrace. Man like Franco, shout out to you, Franco. Big up. Thank you for being a member. And if you want to join and be a member as well, feel free to do so. Let's talk about OleOut and Mauricio Pochettino. By the way, I didn't know his son still plays for Spurs. That's mad.
Yeah, he was on the bench, isn't it, the other day?
Yeah, I seen his name. On the team sheet for the under. Was it 21s or 23s? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with you, Manny. Are we, if Poch doesn't come, are we missing out on something potentially great in the future, or do you think that sticking with Ole at this point in time is the right thing to do?
Boy, you're asking the wrong person because all I'm gonna say is Ole out.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
You'll get your turn. You'll get your turn.
But do you know what? Do you know what it is for me? I think if we miss out on Poch, I can't put hand on heart and say we're missing an opportunity. But to say it's missing the opportunity of a lifetime, I don't know. Because I think there's other managers out there that could come into Manchester United now and do a job. The problem we have, and I think a lot of us agree on, is that Ole isn't the man for the man to take us forward. Mm-hmm. And I'll be upset if we let Pochettino go, but I really don't see it happening. But if we do, it's an opportunity that presented itself again, and we've just let it go. But I wouldn't say it's an opportunity of a lifetime missed if we don't see Poch at Manchester United. No.
I see KJ shaking his head there. Do you not agree with what Manny's saying?
No. I actually am agreeing. I was actually more of I see where he's coming from. If we don't, here's the thing: if we don't get Poch, I'm not going to be frustrated at Ole. I won't be frustrated at Poch. I'll be frustrated at the man them who failed to get him again. Like this will be their second, third attempt to go for him, and they still can't secure him. And you can do it for free, fam. The first time you didn't want to get him because you had to pay 40 M's.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that, and now it's for free. And you've already started to piss him off. You ain't even started the job yet. What the hell, fam? That's how crap you are at your job. Imagine you go for a job interview and you do well and you're waiting to hear back from them and they've already pissed you off before they give you the job. Why would you want to work there, fam? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it is. It makes no sense. But in terms of Manny's point, as in, would it be the end of the world? Yes and no. No, in terms of, I agree with Manny. There are other managers out there that potentially could do what Poch can do, and maybe potentially better. Someone like a Nagelsmann, someone like a Marco Reus potentially can go out there and do a madness, or Ten Hag. But then at the same time, it's like, if we don't get Poch, who's the obvious choice for these men who run our football club to get, do you really trust them to pick out someone else who's going to be absolutely brilliant? We already know they've got no football brain. So knowing them, they get Big Sam out retirement and be like, oh yeah, he's perfect for the United job.
What if the Glazers, because remember we talked about, I think it was last week, we talked about, Pochettino potentially, saying to the Glazers and, the board and everyone involved at United saying, listen, I'm only going to come if you guys give me this and that. And amongst those things, possibly, he could have listed a director of football. What if the Glazers and the board and Woodward and all these guys are trying to make that happen? Hence why it takes so long. Terry, what do you think?
Look, if they end up doing that, then you hold your hands up and say, in the first instance, good business. I'm very consistent with my views in the sense of I don't like the way the Glazers and the way Woodward run the football club. But if they do something that's good, for instance, the reasons for walking away from the Haaland deal, I completely concur with. You can't have a man with a 60-odd million pound buyout clause like that soon into his contract. That is an individual piece of isolated business is great. So if Poch is taking a long time because there's a lot of things in the backroom to fix up before he comes in, and that happens, great. But I need to sort of see it first. I think for me, the whole thing with Ollie's mad. If we got beat by Everton, I'm 99% sure that right now Ollie would be gone from his job. If you're hanging on by tender hooks like that, it makes no sense just to keep him on, because what's going to happen? We'll probably beat West Brom. We'll probably beat Istanbul. And then who knows what's going to happen against City. If we lose to City and or lose badly, it's going to be knives out, jobs under pressure again. It's not a conducive environment to create success. And even in the short term, which we love a bit of short-termism, it doesn't help our season as it stands right now to have a manager in where where the situation with the fans is so toxic and everything's fluctuating so much. It's down to the board to manage that. Now, I know they've done the thing where we're publicly backing him. We will look at that as a kiss of death, and I think that's true. But they need to. I just don't trust. The problem is I don't trust the board. So we could win our next 3 or 4 games, and that sees Ollie through for the rest of the year. We could lose to West Brom and then sack him, and you think, well, what was the point of wasting the international break? That's my views. And on Poch, we miss out on him this time. I don't think he would join us. And my fear about missing out on Poch, on Nagelsmann, we missed out on Pep and Klopp because of bad planning. And how dumb, how stupid and misses were they as a football club? But if we'd have got those two in, we would have been, in my opinion, done better in the last 7-8 years than we have done. I don't know about winning a league or not, but yeah, it does worry me that we're now messing Poch around before he's even come in. It should be a wake-up call to everybody that thinks Ollie's the biggest problem, really.
Yeah, super chat here from Prem Prodigy saying, I actually feel bad for Poch. He's gone from working with Daniel Levy for 5 years to working with Ed Woodward. Also, they ain't hiring a DOF. No way. Danny, I know that you've been very, very vocal on, the way the Glazers and Woodward have been running this club. And you've also been very vocal that, hiring Poch is not going to change stuff directly. Do you still stand by that standpoint, by that point of view, or have you slightly changed your mind? Bearing in mind, the results that we've been having as well.
Do you know what it is? Let me be clear on something. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Ollie, for me, will lay the foundations down for somebody better to come along and do a better job.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's important for me is because the biggest challenge at Manchester United is navigating Ed Woodward. He's the biggest problem. He will not consistently deliver in the transfer market for any manager. So that's why, for me, you look at it, he backed Ollie the first season, didn't back him this summer. Now our shopping list for next summer's gotten longer. I bet you any money if Ollie stays, if he gets top 4, he'll back Ollie next summer, get what he wants. Then after that, if you want to move him on, fine. The issue I have is that we'll waste Poch or any other manager. I'm at a point now where, as a Man United fan, we have to keep it real. We could do a Liverpool. We're in that cycle now. We're in that cycle where I don't think no manager can save this football club. Not one manager. It's going to take the good work of multiple managers to save this football club. That's why, for me, if Ollie gets top 4 again, his job done. If I look at the players he wants, like a Grealish that he wanted this summer, 80 mil doesn't seem too bad now, if I'm being honest as well. I was sure on that price this summer, but now I'm like, that price ain't too shabby. That's
going to be a lot more if we do want it next summer.
And let's not forget as well, Aaron, if we look at the evidence we have for the Glazers in the last 7 years, they only sack a manager if he doesn't make top 4. We haven't had consistency where one manager's made top 4 twice, hasn't challenged for the title, and these guys have set pace and set standards and say, nah, you need to move on from here. No, it's make top 4, keep your job. Don't make top 4, lose your job. That's how they move. And on this Pochettino thing that you guys have put forward about wanting the director of football, that's how bad it's got, man. That's some super wishful thinking. Bear in mind, he had a director of football, fell out with him, wrestled control at Tottenham Hotspur for himself, dropped the ball. Levy pulled the rug from under him, using the stadium as an excuse, which is a decent excuse not to back a manager. And Pochettino was in a press conference saying, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cat Williams and his Am I a Tiger joke. Have you seen that joke? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but check it out. It's really, really funny. Basically, Poch in the press conference saying, I'm not a manager, change my title. I'm just a coach. In my opinion, that man, he'd want what Ollie wants. He'd look at it and say, hold on a second. If you gave Ollie executive power over the transfer policy, I'd want that as well. And like I said, Poch paired with Woodward, you don't know what's going to happen.
What's interesting?
Better football. There'd be more consistency in the way we win, lose, and draw. maybe Poch would break his duck and get an FA Cup or a League Cup. But as far as league titles, being the top team in the world again, it's going to take the work of multiple managers consecutively.
You know what's interesting about managers as well, though?
And sorry, they all have to navigate Woodward.
No,
That's
I get
the issue.
that. And it's true. The thing with all the managers we're linked with, there's like a big question mark over all of them as well. If we're being real, forget the Glazers for a minute and Woodward. There's a question mark. Poch has never won anything. Nagelsmann's young and has never won anything. I'm hearing Brendan Rodgers. I don't care what man won in a one-horse race. To get what I mean in Scotland with Celtic. Anyone, even John Barnes, if he was managing Scotland in that time when there was no Rangers, would have won the league, right? So that was easy for him. And then you've got like Allegri, one thing, but everyone's like, well, he did that in practically a one-horse race, didn't do anything major in the Champions League, got to a final, didn't win it. But there's still people that question him and his credentials. Like every manager we're linked with, there are not any Klopps or Peps or Jose's any for me at the moment that are available where you go born winner that can come in and do something. And the only way through this as well is the fans. Fans have got to change their mindset. If you bring in a new manager for a brand new project, it's 3 to 4 years minimum before you're going to yield any major results. We haven't got a fan base that's got the patience for that, bruv. These people are, I feel sorry for them. If they treat their women like this, the woman's going to have a very quick night, is all I'm going to say. Mad.
Do you know what's crazy though, Terry? You see, we've seen a manager navigate the Glazers and Woodward before. His name was Sir Alex Ferguson. That shows you where we're at. You need the greatest manager that ever lived to navigate these incompetent idiots.
20 odd the thing is, I disagree with that. You know,
already there.
I disagree with what?
The fact that you say we need the greatest manager to navigate Woodward. I think there's
the history's proven. Manny, history's proven
everyone,
that.
You're talking, yeah, but the thing is, you're talking about history. Yeah, you lot are going as far back as what LVG maybe.
As long as they've owned the football club. No, as long as they've owned a football club, they had Sir Alex Ferguson, then David Moyes, then LVG, then Mourinho, now Oli. Now
and they didn't back none of those. Okay, they didn't. I know they didn't back LVG fully. They didn't back David Moyes. Are we saying they didn't back Mourinho? Are we saying they didn't back Mourinho and they haven't backed Oli?
Yo, Manny, from the moment we finished second place in the league, whether it was fraudulent or not, we got second place. From when that happens and you deliver your manager, Fred, league rant, and the low, that's not backing your manager, fam.
Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know the argument I hear a lot is Jose bought 2 centre backs, Bay and Lindelof, and then wanted a third. Why should he get a third?
That I do say that a lot. I won't lie.
Yeah. So my point is this: it's a fair argument. But look at who the backups were to those 3. Rojo, Phil Jones, Smalling. Are they good enough? He didn't buy them. This is the point. It's like it is such a big overhaul that's needed. Bring in Poch. I would bet a lot of money that 60% of this squad in 2.5 to 3 years' time, if Poch stays that long, will not be here. For that, or he won't want them to be here. We've had 3 managers tell us about the overhaul they wanted to do, and they were told no. You can go back to Fergie's days when Sir Alex Ferguson is sitting there navigating them and saying, "Yeah, look, 40 million was too much for Aguero. There's no value in the market." Fergie's not an idiot. Like, yes, he bought some duds, and yes, he missed out on some good players, but we were hamstrung. We were not able to bid for the majority of players we wanted to go to because the money wasn't there. The only reason in the last 7 years we've been able to compete is nothing to do with Man United's commerciality. It's to do with the brand new TV money that the Premier League brought in, and clubs went from getting about 80 million a year grand total from international and domestic TV rights to over 200 million a year. That extra money enabled us to compete in the transfer market. If that deal hadn't happened, we would be in a very precarious position now in comparison to the Man Cities and so forth, because that debt is absolutely crippling. And when we say backed, it isn't just spending money. It's also spending the money wisely and having a structure for it to be spent in a correct way, because I don't care whether it was LVG or the Glazers. The work should have been done on Bastian Schweinsteiger before we bought him to know whether or not he was actually going to be fit enough, well enough, good enough, still in his prime to warrant what we're doing. That's just one example. That's just happened so many times. It's the collective effort that's wrong here. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with the bosses. The buck stops with the owners when it goes wrong. The same with every other sports team in the world. After 4 failed managers, if you want to call Oli that yet, you can't look at anyone other than the people that are running the football club. I just don't see it as debatable. We can look right now, and Oli, of course, Get rid of Ollie. He's a problem. Inconsistencies. Tactics aren't always right. Can he handle the big personalities? Yes. But what about the failure leading up to this? What about the outrage? Wayne Rooney got a lot of stick for once upon a time saying this club, I don't know if the club's got ambition anymore. Hindsight's a very lucrative commodity. But he was absolutely right to challenge the club way back when in 2010, 2011 when he did. We were all outraged because we were like, no, it's all going fine because we're still winning things. That guy was in the inner circle, could see what was going on. We were replacing Cristiano Ronaldo with Obertans and Bebes. Like, this isn't a modern day thing. That'd be my 10 pence on it.
That's basically us, like, back then. That's basically us getting Dan James to replace Ronaldo back then, fam. That's how bad it was.
Well, at least it shows you how far. Oh, sorry, KJ. I thought you finished, bro. Somebody on Twitter the other day was like, asked me about Traore. I was like, he's Antonio Valencia. The difference is, Man United in 2020 would pay 70 million for him. We got Antonio Valencia for like 27 million. That's the problem. And the thing is, Manny, this whole thing of back, like Terry said, forget the pound amount. It's all about, can you consistently recruit well? That's really what it comes down to. Year after year, what is your success rate? Under the Glazers, particularly under Van Gaal in particular, was terrible. Absolutely shocking. And bear in mind, we could have got Maguire a year earlier than we did, and they didn't get him. Don't forget, they briefed the media. I don't know, Terry will remember. Terry probably covered it because he was covering these things at the time. They briefed the media as to why we didn't get Alderweireld, and they started putting out scout reports about him only being good in a back three and blah, 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 as to why Mourinho wasn't back for another centre-back. So, all roads lead to these guys when it comes to recruitment. They don't recruit consistently well. And as we've seen, it doesn't matter who the manager is. They probably never will unless we get a director of football. Simple as that.
Let me just read out
to you, Dennis.
Let me just read out the super chats quickly, and then I'll let you. And I want Indiana to have his say as well. Super chat from Yassir saying, I genuinely feel like regardless of Ollie in or Ollie out, but Poch won't end up at Man United. Some other clubs maybe City will sign him, or even PSG. And another super chat here from Prakash saying, losing Poch to City might happen. Indiana, when Danny was talking, another super chat, sorry, from I can't pronounce that. Sigodur. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, my brother. Sorry. He's saying Ollie's Scotty McLove affair will get him sacked. He thinks he's in his best 11, but he has the worst start in 11 win ratio, percentage, of any midfielder in the team versus good teams or Premier League team. Scotty Mac, Paul Mans, Fellaini.
Don't disrespect Fellaini.
There's another one here. Why don't we go for Pep? His contract is up at the end of the year, and he will love to have a step up from Man City.
All right, bro, that ship has sailed, fam. I would love that to happen, but it's
I think
done,
after this adventure at City, he's going back to Barcelona. That's what I think.
Yeah.
You know what I said? The interesting thing about
he's
Scott McTominay,
flirting with the club way too much, and I think he's going back.
Do you know the interesting thing with the Scott McTominay comment in the super chat there? Like, we know Scott's level. Scott is a good squad player, like a steady Eddie squad player. Shout out to stealing JV's slogan there of Steady Eddie. But do you know what? I almost guarantee you Poch uses him regularly if he comes in. I almost guarantee.
Why do you think that?
Well, it's two managers running, including Jose Mourinho, one of the greatest managers probably of all time, has used
he was the one that promoted him.
Yeah, and secondly, Fergie was also pushing for this. Now, I still trust Alex Ferguson's ability. Like, this kid's got something, and I think sometimes we overlook players like Scott McTominay's and how important their work ethic, along with their ability, can also be within the team. And look, I have no desires that he's going to look how important Darren Fletcher was for Man United for many, 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 many years. I don't see there being much difference in technical ability between those two. I think they're about the same standard.
Agreed.
And I think that you'll actually see him use quite, and that's the interesting thing about Poch coming in. And for certain United fans out there that hate McTominay and Maguire and Rashi and people like that and Luke Shaw, because if Poch comes in and starts using them regularly, but by the way, love Poch. Think Poch is like the next great manager. If Poch comes in and starts using those people, I just can't wait to ask them what clearly the manager that you rate highly thinks your opinion shit.
But in Indiana, when Danny was talking earlier, when he made his point, I saw you nodding a lot of what he was saying. Do you agree with what Danny was saying?
Yeah, I spoke to Danny a lot the other day about this. I don't think Ollie's getting the sack. I don't think he's getting the sack. You got to remember, like, managers normally get sacked if they don't make targets. That's normally what happens. So the target is probably what? The Glazers making money, yes?
Yeah.
Where does the money come from? Champions League. So as long as he can make top 4, I think he's hitting his target. So I don't think they have a need to sack him. Like, a new manager coming in means more investment, new ideas, new plan. They want to get rid of players, buy new players in. And they've got to back them in the first window, new coaching stuff, all these things. They don't want to spend no money. They're not interested in that at all. If there is any sort of plan, it's probably with the academy right now. Because I don't think they're there or have any intention of setting this club up to win titles again right now. I just don't think he's going to go, unless we go on a string of games where it's 5 or 6 games with heavy losses. I don't think they're going to sack him. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't trust them. I've said many times, I don't even trust Woodward to sack Ollie.
And history would back you up on that. That's the thing. It would back you up. We've seen what they do. You make top 4, they'll keep you. You don't, they'll fire you.
Yeah, this is why I say the OleOut thing is wasted energy. For me, it's wasted energy because they don't. You're talking about OleOut like
Indiana. Are you Viva la Resistance? Is that what you're telling me, bro?
If you need me to be KJ, yeah, I am. Right?
Hell yeah, fam,
No,
let's go.
I'm just saying, like, it's wasted energy because you're calling OleOut like the club actually cares about the fans. They don't care about you.
Yeah.
They don't care what you have to say.
But also, you know, this point that we've been making about the board are the biggest problem. You can say Ollie out today and Ollie out tomorrow. You keep saying Ollie out. We can get 100% of us saying Ollie's got to go.
Yeah.
You know, that board that are not the biggest problem are keeping him in power. Like, that's where your focus then needs to go because they're leaving him in control. You know, it's like I said before, like, you've got to start looking beyond that and going at them. And it's a mad one for me. I hope Ollie isn't like. I'm just so torn with it because I don't think Ollie's good enough to make us win the league. I don't believe there's this grand plan of Ollie building a foundation and somebody taking it to the next level. Based on that, get rid of Ollie now, get the best coaching possible because we're literally working in with short.
Terry,
but there are people that actually, there are people that actually believe that Ollie can win us the league, and they're saying, yeah, but look, a Klopp is taking 5 years, so if you give 5 years to, I've heard that.
Yeah, but that's
Ollie,
just
Aaron,
that's just as delusional as to me, it's just as delusional as thinking a new manager comes in and fixes everything.
Facts.
That's just as delusional. It's the same thing.
Aaron, on the Klopp thing, because I've made this point, and I make this point so people understand. When you're rebuilding, you tend to stand still for about 2 seasons.
Right.
And I know some people don't like, you know, again, as I get older, history sort of lays the foundation for what I think is going to happen in football, unless something dramatic happens. So Klopp stood still for 2 seasons with Liverpool, but we're Manchester United fans. Our greatest manager stood still for 2 seasons when he was rebuilding. And bear in mind, he was rebuilding and he had Gary Neville, Rio Ferdinand, Ryan Giggs, and Paul Scholes there. And yet for 2 seasons running, we finished on 74 points and 75 points. The difference is he had credibility. The difference is he was a champion. The difference is we had faith. We believed. To Terry's point about a grand plan, it's not Woodward's grand plan for Ollie to lay the foundations down. I know if Ollie can just get out 2-3 years in a row, the next manager will not need Woodward to back him for 3 summers. He'd only need him to back him for 1 or 2. That's where the grand plan is. It's not theirs. It's almost mine. It's my wishful thinking.
Yeah, but it depends.
It's not their grand plan.
This is the problem. It depends who the next manager is, because if it's a manager that doesn't play this I don't care about debating what Ollie's style is. Man United Football Club right now should have an idea of how they're trying to play football, the types of characters they want, and the right kind of ability of players that need to come in to make that philosophy work. If you build a squad for Ollie over 3 to 4 years to fit that philosophy, if you then go for another manager who needs maybe a 60% overhaul of players for his system to work, you're always going to have to back managers. Every summer becomes about spending. If you do what Bayern Munich do, and it's very much there is a club philosophy they buy for the club, and a coach comes in and manages them, it's easier to go through a conveyor belt of coaches. It's why Chelsea works. You know, when Chelsea were changing managers and still winning, because they pretty much stepped to kind of I wouldn't call it always park the bus, but it was very efficient football they played. The players liked playing in that way, and it works. Whenever they threw in a Phil Scolari or a manager that tried coming in that era that tried to make them play a little bit of ball, it always ended a lot quicker than when they played a little bit more efficiently. And I think that the problem is there is no plan. We'd go from Oli to a Diego Simeone, and he might want to change half the squad again. And then we go from a Simeone to a Nagelsmann who might want to change half the squad again.
And then what will happen is, will be how many years down the road, and then they finally get Poch when he's washed. That will happen, boys. This is what's going to happen.
And Phil Jones will still be there.
Yeah.
He will still be there.
On the Nagelsmann one, Nagelsmann would be the manager who'd need the most dramatic change. You need an entire team of players that can press like madmen.
Yeah.
And we don't have those players.
What
I would say, if you look at Ollie's profile of players, look at the top teams. Break down most of the top teams. They either play with wide forwards or wingers. What's Ollie been trying to? What did Ollie want this summer? Who were his top two priorities? Grealish, Sancho. Those were his top priorities. We don't know what type of midfielders he likes, other than what he's been offered in Bruno and Van der Beek. But I don't think a next manager would need 3 summers, because Ollie's looking at players that every team should have forwards and wingers. It's a basic thing.
No,
We're Manchester
Danny,
United. We don't have a right winger. How do we not have a right winger?
Yeah, I know, but we can't trust these guys in charge, bruv.
But that's the point, KJ.
I hear what you're saying, Danny. On every club should have a right winger, and I know we didn't get Sancho, but they got Traore instead, so you will have a right winger in January.
I cannot wait to see him. Yeah, can
know
we gas him a bit? Can we gas him a little? Can I do that, fam? This kid looks absolutely mint. Man, he's sitting there with his head back because he's thinking about Ollie ruining the club. Don't worry about that.
Well, how do you know? I'm listening to all of this here, and I'm just thinking, do you know what? Yeah, you might as well just let Ollie stay for 10 years, and I'll just be here thinking, boy.
But with all that, no, I'm gonna be honest. I hear what everyone's saying, but with all that's been said, I still don't think that even if you get Ollie's targets, I think we'll still come short. In some way, shape, or form. Yeah, I think we'll still come short.
Let me be clear.
We'll still come short.
Let me be clear. I agree. I do not think he will win us the title. That's not
even just the title. I don't think we'll get over the line for the FA Cup, for the League Cup. Let's say we drop into Europa. We won't even get over the line for that, bro.
Okay, Manny, what is that? You've won an FA Cup since Sir Alex Ferguson left, right? How much does it mean to you? Be honest.
It's a trophy, isn't it?
I had to think 2 seconds about this.
No, do you know why I had to think twice in it? Because I was thinking of like the Arsenal man there, innit? Yeah, I didn't want to sound like them.
Don't get me wrong. The way we won it was sick. Like when Lingard, the way
beautiful. The difference is Arsenal think that they're like they're on the way to winning the Premier League after winning it. Like for me, the FA Cup's the most beautiful trophy in the world. I love that. That was I broke my ankle that day as well. Some fat guy fell on me when we were celebrating. That was a painful day at Wembley. It took me an hour and a half to walk down Wembley Way. And of course, I was mash up as well, innit? So
the red card, the Pardew dancing on the sidelines, Smalling dropping a disaster class, and then Jesse Lingard. Right, listen.
I watched. Even now, I watched that. I feel so happy for Jesse because I still can't believe his skinny little leg can hit a ball that hard. Like it's mad. That ball is so small. Every time Lingard goes into a tackle, I think he's going to snap in half. He's so small.
And then the season after, he scores in another final, and we were just like, yes.
No,
he's done it again.
Community Shield. He's got that goal where he dribbled past half.
Oh yeah, dribbled like 4 man.
Community Shield, and then in the Capital One Cup when Zlatan scored 2, and Jesse Lingard scored as well against Southampton, fam.
That was when Lingard was in that form that made our guy Rance say that he was more important for Man United than Eden Hazard was for Chelsea, innit? That was Rance. That's always going to play around that. I love that comment. Love that.
But I have a question for you, man. Yeah, because I've been listening to all of you and the way you're talking. So, are you saying you'd rather have Ollie stay at the club, yeah, and fight the Glazers, or try and get Ollie out now, yeah, and then fight the Glazers later? I really do think if we stick with Ollie,
yeah.
Oh, because if we stick with Ollie, I think it's going to be. Let's just say we stick with him for another 5, 6, 7 years. I think it's just going to be a roller coaster, up and down. Because you said something that the greatest manager, yeah, had to rebuild over 2 seasons, yeah. Oli, yeah,
3.
okay, 3 seasons, yeah. The difference between that, yeah, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is because with Oli, we have no consistency. We're up and down, up and down, up and down. At least you know, yeah, Ferguson will get these men over the line. He would do something. We don't have no proof right now that Oli can do anything. He's relegated Cardiff. I know that people say, "Oh, forget about that. It was 10 years ago," but it's on his CV.
They
He
still
went
hate
to
him for
Moda.
that.
Huh?
They still hate him for that.
But they're still, you get me? They're still hating for that, yeah. And what we're seeing, me personally, like I said, I was happy we made Champions League last season, but I genuinely think we stumbled over that. Genuinely think we stumbled.
Manny.
But Manny, you made my point.
About it. You're Danny. I'm gonna be quick. You like to chat in it, so I'll be quick in it. On the Cardiff thing. Yes, that's on his resume. But if you look at Cardiff at that time, any manager in charge of that club would have gone down anyway because they were run poorly. 2, no one asking for Ollie to be here for 5-7 years. Let's just put that to an end. No one asking for that. No one wants that. And 3, you see me in terms of the initial question, I don't care as long as I get whatever gets people on board with the resistance. That's all I care about, bro. All I heard in that sentence was fight the Glazers or fight the Glazers. That's all I heard.
It should be now, man.
That is really simple. Like, I don't think this is polarized. It's not. I don't want Ollie just to stay here forever. My argument is, I don't want people thinking that Ollie goes and abracadabra, Expelliarmus, the world's going to be better. Do you know, I watched the video and I'm going to do a little reaction video of a few of us watching it, of me talking bang on 2 years ago today, where I say, got to remove Jose first and foremost because of the toxicity, because of the way he's slagging people off in the press. He's got to go to remove this big problem in front of us. But I then listed 5 things the club needs to change about recruitment, about building a philosophy, about removing player power. And I'm watching it back. I was watching the whole thing last night before I went to sleep and I'm like, it's Groundhog Day. And that's my point. And then you go back 2 years before that, I'm looking for the videos. I said the same thing when LVG was here. Got to move the problem with the manager. But we've got to fix these 5 things for us to move forward. So for 4 years, I've been saying the same thing. So my point isn't, it's just don't think that Poch is going to make us, and I don't care about having one good year or looking good on the pitch. My standards are for us to get back to being one of the best teams in Europe every season and being able to challenge for the Premier League every year. We're not doing that with these owners.
I agree with everything you said, but I just want to say, I'm not saying if Poch comes in today, he's going to turn things around. No, but what I think is it's the next step in this so-called transition or rebuild for us. I just think Ollie's taken us to where he should have taken us, where he can take us, and we need to move on. We need to move on. And that needs to be done now because we can stick with him for another 2 years. Fair. It's just going to go up and down. It's going to be like a Alton Towers thing. You get me?
Yeah.
Man, don't like right, guys.
Manny, can I ask you, what if Poch comes in, right? Oh. Because every manager has got their own ideas. They build their own relationships with players. Different players they want in. What if Poch comes in and he wants 3, say Pogba, Martial and Bruno, say he wants them gone, say they don't fit his system, whatever it may be, and he wants to build again, and we take a massive backward step, and then he gets back the first window and not the second, and we go backwards, and it starts again. What happens then? What do we do then?
Then they'll be on board with KJ and transfer their energy to Woodward and the Glazers.
With the resistance,
no. You know what is it? The reason why I couldn't answer that is because he listed like 2 of my favorite players at Manchester United. You get me?
Okay, let's just pick one. Let's say.
My bad, guys.
Edward would if Poch wanted to get rid of Bruno,
player is Poch wants him out. He doesn't want to play him, right? He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit the profile. He needs to buy somebody else. He's got his own ideas, own system, all of that. He wants to get rid of these players, and he wants to buy his own players. He gets back the first window, like every other manager. Doesn't get back the second window. What happens?
Like every other manager.
So how do you know Poch doesn't have his own ideas?
No, I do know Poch has his own ideas. I think everyone knows that. We saw how Tottenham plays football.
So how does this change with Poch coming in?
You know what?
Our football will change. I believe our football will change. And that's what I've said this before, isn't it? The problem is the whole club, yeah? It's from the Glazers all the way down to the way we play football. But my problem is, and Flawless says it all the time, we can sort out the easiest thing now, the short-term thing now, which is the type of football we are playing. And that can be sorted out by removing Oli and replacing him with Poch, or even a different manager with a better style of play, with more better tactics. Let me not say he hasn't
More
better
consistent.
more consistency.
I agree
That
with
can
that.
be improved.
Yep.
Yes, the Glazers are a problem. I do understand that, but like I always say, it's going to take more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Listen, these lot want to do the whole European. Sorry, Terry. These guys want to do the whole European Premier League thing. They're not going anywhere, and we need to all accept that and get on board. You see the difference between me, and KJ. I've got on board with it. I know they're not going nowhere. KJ still thinks he has a chance of getting them out.
No. I told you, Manny. I've told you already. The resistance ain't about getting the Glazers out, because I accept that they ain't happy. Them man are here until the day they die, and their kids, fam. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be peak. It's bondage, fam. It's bondage blood. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is the resistance is about getting these pagans to make something happen, fam. Like removing Ed Woodward from his position of power is good for me. You know, with the man and Gaddafi and that. You know what I'm saying? It's basically the same thing, bruv. All I want is the people who are in charge of the club moving around, getting got, and then we get structured properly. That's what the resistance is about. The Glazers aren't going to be here for a long time unless everyone contacts some next mafia man to get these man sorted. That's the only way they're going to go.
I think another a great thing with Poch, I agree the football will be better. In terms of consistency, his win percentage as a football manager is lower than Ollie's, but that's another conversation for another day. I'm just trying to add for a bit of a laugh, mate. I'm playing devil's advocate here. It's true. It is lower than Ollie's. He wins 50.
Facts don't matter, Terry.
I don't care about your feelings. But he'll do a better job at Man United. The football will be better, no doubt. Do you know what things I'm really excited about is what he did 4 times to players at Tottenham. Whenever they spoke about wanting to leave or stalled on a contract, man sat him in the stands for 6 months. When he turned around, in terms of, because we've got all these weird fake fans who support players over clubs. The day that Pogba says something like, "I fancy a new challenge," and Poch just says, "Yo, Paul, yeah, you're in the reserves for the next 6 months." I can't wait for the fallout. I can't wait for that. He's a bully. He's a bully. I can't wait for it. You know what I mean? You know, when somebody stalls on a contract and he's like, "Oh, you're not playing then." And then they're in the press. Why is he not playing? He's thinking about leaving. That's one thing I loved about Poch. And this is what Man United fans have got to prepare themselves for. It's okay loving everything about Poch because you think he's going to be better than Ollie. Study the man's characteristics, because he may do some of the things that you actually rated him for at Tottenham to players you love. And that's why I don't love any one individual player more than I love the team, because you have to look beyond that, because Poch is going to annoy a lot of United fans because he's going to get rid of somebody's favourite player.
If he does that, I'm going to be okay with it, because we've seen it before. We've seen it happen before with Van Gaal. When De Gea was, in and out with that whole story with Real Madrid and the fax machine and this, that, his head was not in the game. So what did Van Gaal do? Benched him. So if Poch comes in and he does that.
Yeah, but Aaron, it's only if the end result is a league title. I'm still pissed we sold Hernandez for 7 mil. I'm still vexed.
That was ridiculous. You might be cool with it, Aaron, but fans won't be. I get the number thing was maybe a step too far, but we signed Zlatan. What about Martial? We signed someone that we signed Alexis Sanchez. What about Martial? Now, the Sanchez signing didn't end up working out. This is going to happen again. There's going to be players that are going to have their positions come under pressure, and there'll be players that will turn early. And I told you before, our owners, and especially Woodward, they're win men. What way is the wind blowing?
But you know what? With that, if new players come in, and it's in a position of one of our favorite players, let's say. I love Paul Pogba, and he's playing, he's a regular, he's a starter. If Poch comes in and he buys someone for Pogba's position, honestly, I'm going to be like, all right, cool, Pogba. This is your chance now to show why you should deserve to start and not the new guy.
But Aaron, they went back.
But let's be honest though, Aaron, why are you comfortable with that? Is it not because we have Bruno and Van der Beek?
No, because I've always said competition brings the best out of players.
Yeah, no, but so my point is, if we didn't have Bruno and Van der Beek, if it was Schneiderlin and Fellaini still, you'd be pissed about Paul Pogba leaving. Bro, it's because
of the quality. Because of the quality.
Exactly. So because we have better quality around, we don't mind Paul Pogba leaving.
But it was Man United.
But before we had better quality.
But what about when Jose in his first season didn't want to play Schweinsteiger? Man was publicly in the media called a bully for not wanting to put him in a squad. If people think Poch isn't going to be treated in exactly the same way, they're mad. The issue we have as Man United fans is at no point do we have enough people that just get behind a manager regardless. Go, do you know what? The next 3 years, I'm back, barring doing something crazy. Do you know what I mean? Making Paul Pogba clean his car with a toothbrush or something mad like that. Like, we never just get behind their manager. It's like, you know what though? He isn't my favorite manager. I don't like him for this reason, or he doesn't play the football I want. So I'm good. You know what? I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Liverpool fans or the Sun newspaper and back them. We just need to get behind a coach, and I'm all for getting behind Poch. If Poch benches my favorite player, Rashford, cool. Fine, that I'm gonna let him put his philosophy.
Bench Bruno and Rashi, you accept that?
I'll be upset personally. No, trust me, I will. You'll see the energy. It will be. Let's see what happens. Now, if 2 years later we're not winning anything and we go backwards, I'll probably question the decision. But we all need to. Do you know what? My narcissism has to stop. What I want. My daughter does that. If I say no to her right now, she's going for that age at 2. Everything she kicks off and cries like when I don't do anything. Do you know what I mean? Today, I wouldn't dare put a hand in the fire. The fire, the actual flame, go and touch it. No, cried. I said, what's the matter with you? She said, you love me. I said, no, I hate you. She hated me. I didn't let her burn her hand off. That's Man United fans. They're as bad as my 2-year-old daughter, #Free Freya.
All I want is
and we all know who the number 1 target's going to be. Paul Pogba won't fit Poch's pressing style.
Then let Paul Pogba go. Let him go.
You know, to be fair, look, Paul Pogba
do that.
I've been saying.
That's why Terry's right when he says McTominay will be in there, because McTominay and Fred will press the way Poch wants.
If McTominay's in there, if McTominay's in there and Poch gets my man balling out, I'm all up for it. Even if it's Luke Shaw, if Luke Shaw comes back and he's the Luke Shaw of Southampton, I'm all up for it. If anyone comes in, any manager comes in and gets these men playing saucy football, I do not care, bruv. You can go sign the half of Burnley or Stoke squad, as long as we're playing sick football and we got.
No.
Okay, I'll take that back. I'm just getting a bit emotional. I'll take that back.
Manny, you're telling me, if Poch goes and signs Ashley Barnes, you'll be okay with that? Are you?
No, I took it back.
Ashley Barnes is better than Igalo, though.
No, that's true. No, Manny, how about this? I got a question for you, Manny. Like, I'm all board. Like Poch coming in, I think he'll be amazing. I would love to see what he does with our players. But when does saucy football become not enough? How long after that?
No. Okay, there's saucy football, the whole consistency package, taking us to the next level. That's included. When I say saucy, innit? Saucy is like is the main title, innit? And then we have consistency, challenging. Next step or next stage in our transition. That's what's under that whole.
How long is that supposed to take place? Like how? Like
I'll give Poch. I'll give Poch. Going on for what he did at Southampton and at Tottenham. I'll give him personally 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Nanny.
5 years.
Wait.
So but during that 5 years, he needs to bring in.
Time to go!
I respect it. Do you see the difference between me and you with Poch? And see what it is? What I spoke about Oli before of credibility. He's got no credibility with you or anybody else.
No, not with Oli. Because I've always said, when we were playing decent football with Oli and it looked like we were going in this direction. My next thing was like, okay, Oli needs to improve his coaching stuff. But then all I've seen from Oli is this.
So that 5 years with Poch, I want to piggyback off KJ's questions, right?
Yeah.
So that 5 years with Poch, give me the trajectory. Is it straight upwards? Is it 4-4?
Oh yeah. That 5 years is like, okay, Poch, you're coming in today. Yeah, I've seen what you've done at your previous clubs. Okay, I'm going to give you 5. Okay, 5 years. Yeah. However, I'm expecting each year for there to be an increase. If Poch starts doing this like Oli, if Poch starts doing this like Oli, I'm Poch out as well, bro.
Sorry, no. Let's be specific because you're saying Oli's doing this. Oli's only finished 4th. He hasn't done anything up and down. He's only finished
third. Yeah, he finished third still.
Okay, he finished third. Sorry, he finished third. Cool. He's done. He's not up and down because he hasn't finished the season yet. So let's say Oli disaster, mid-table, 16th, done. When Poch comes in this season, clean slate. After next season, I imagine top 4 is always the standard, right? Once he gets top 4 once, what's the trajectory then?
The next step from top 4 is challenging.
Well,
So
yes,
second,
maintain
so
growth
second.
challenge.
Yeah.
But my only
In
fear.
one season. In one season.
No, it don't work like that.
No. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Over 5 years. My problem here is we look worse. Okay, with Oli here, we look worse now than we actually did when we finished last season. Is that not correct? Or is that just
exactly.
To me, yes.
exactly?
That's
Yeah.
fair.
So
That was his best run.
the way
So, yeah.
the way it looks at the moment, unless like people saying in the comments, I'm deluded, but unless I'm looking at a different type of football, different type of what I'm seeing on the pitch. If this do the signs look like it's going to continue? Yes or no?
You're Manny. This ain't about this ain't about Ollie though. Sorry, Terry. This
Yeah,
ain't about
go on.
Ollie though, Manny. Like we get it. Ollie ain't the guy. We've all agreed with you here. We can start. This is about Poch now, and you're 5 years, bro. This is what this is about. In this 5 years, fam, how many trophies and league titles would you expect in those 5 years? Is it by the end of the 5 years he gets one league title? Is it in there, or he has to get 3 minor trophies and 2 league?
I'm expecting at least 2 league titles.
Ooh, in 5 years. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Well, there's 2 things I want to say here. The first one is I don't like people that like style over substance. Any man who is a style over substance person, one, I think you're highly likely as an individual to grow up and be a failure, first of all. They're the kind of guy that's wearing the true. No, you are. It's true, bruv. Like you are. These are the kind of guys in the nightclub that are wearing the drip, but have got no money to buy a girl a drink because they spent all their money buying the jeans or the shirt. They're not real men. They're not real men.
That's a madness. That's a madness.
That's a madness. Friends like that, you know what I mean? They look like money, got nothing, or they buy 1 bottle of champagne when they get into a club, the cheapest bottle, and then they sip on that damn thing for 7 hours, don't share it with no one, don't buy a girl a drink. By the end of the night, they're sweating because they can't even afford tap water. Like, oh, rough.
Sorry, Terry. Sorry, bro.
Miles away. Yeah, we're gonna walk. It's raining.
Sorry, Terry.
Sorry. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Are you comparing me to that? Man?
Sorry, Manny.
No.
Okay, cool. No, do you know what it was? Yeah, I'm reading the comments. Yeah, and my man trying to say, "Oh, Terry's sending for Manny." I'm thinking, wait a minute. He ain't talking about me.
No, as I just said, you said you want titles in that, and I said I'm glad because I don't like men that like style over substance. You always want style and substance, but substance should always come before style in every walk of life, in my opinion. Yep. And that's first and foremost. For me, Poch will make us play better football. I will give him 4 to 5 years to make us Premier League champions. In that time, whether he wins a trophy or not is irrelevant. It's about the trajectory. Trajectory is always contextual because look at the start of this damn season. This ain't defending Ollie. Mm-hmm. This is the lowest goals total Arsenal have had since 1998. It's the worst points tally after 8 games City have had since 2008. It's Liverpool are 7-8 points worse off than they were last season. And for the first time in top flight football history, every single team in the opening 8 games had lost at least 1 game by 3 clear goals or more. So to say that Man United are not as good now as we were at the end of last season is a fact. But no team in the Premier League right now is as good as they were at the end of last season. So I do think there needs to be some context applied to some of these sweeping statements about Man United and about everybody's worse. And, you know, injuries up 43% and whatnot. But on the Poch thing, there has to be a standard, and that's to get back to the top. But you got to let a man have his time. What will buy him more time is if the football is more attractive. If the football is more attractive, that will buy more. There's no doubt about it. If you're being entertained, however, there'll still come a day where if you're only winning, look at Arsenal fans. They were giving it the bigger, not they were being entertained, but they've only won like half their Premier League games, and they're all suddenly starting to realise we haven't really improved. He has to win. The one big thing is this. This is where I think Man United fans need to start being, again, less narcissistic and caring about what they want. The standard we've got to set on this channel is win percentage. Because what Manny wants the football to look like will be different from me, KJ. All 6 of us could have slightly different opinions. There's no point judging that. It becomes preference. It's got to be win. So for me, after 1.5 years in minimum, I want his win percentage to be at 65% across all competitions.
You know what I would say? Yeah. If he really comes in, I think if I take Manny's idea and I say 5 years, I would say 1 trophy. That's what I would say. 1 Premier League title. And then if he picks up an FA Cup, a League Cup along the way and these kind of things, that's cool. But in those 5 years, I want to see us win 1 league title. But what I am going to say is, if he comes in, and sorry, I forgot to read out the super chat as well. I'm going to do that, Sigurd, in a second. But if he comes in, Over 5 years, I want to see one league title. But over 2 years, what I want to see is consistency, and I want to see teams come to Old Trafford and be scared again, because that is what's killing us right now. Teams are just coming to Old Trafford and allowing themselves, and I'm not saying they're not good enough in these kind of things, but too many teams are allowing themselves to come to Old Trafford and just play fancy football and play us off the park in our own stadium. And
it's true, you're right.
Not just now with the pandemic and no fans, even when there were fans in the stadium. Remember the start of last season when we played Crystal Palace and they just played nice football. And I'm just like,
Aaron, that's been happening for years, bro. Bro. This ain't a 2-minute thing, though. This is happening under Jose and LVG.
That's what I mean.
True.
I want to get back to that level where teams are scared to, like, before they even walk out, they know we're in for. Do you know what I mean? We're in for trouble today. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
That's
true.
what I want to happen.
I think you guys are being really, really kind on Poch with 5 years, fam. I'm saying this.
No. I'm saying within it. That's if I would have given it 5 years. Within 2 years, I just want to see teams fear us again.
Yeah, no. But we're talking about the whole 5 years thing, as because we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
You've said by the end of it, like one league title, and you're not really bothered by anything else. I'm saying this, fam. 5 years, and you've got this Man United team. I want to see you by year 3 trophy every single season afterwards.
Yeah, but do you know what? That's why you set the win percentage, because if you're winning 65% plus games, the likelihood is your football's pretty good, and the likelihood is you're going to win trophies. Why? Because Peps and their win percentage is around 65-70%, and managers that are around that 65-70% mark tend to win things. As an example, that's the only fair way of setting the parameters in terms of individual seasons, because if you're winning 65% of your games, you only have to do the maths to work out you're pretty much going to be in top 4, and you're going to go through most rounds in tournaments. I think that's the only way, the fair way to look at it, because I might think teams are scared of coming to Old Trafford. Manny doesn't agree. KJ might think the football is more attractive, but Danny might find it boring. So it becomes almost an arbitrary argument, because it becomes about preference again. Yeah. It needs to be about tangibles. I know people hate it. It's got to be about outputs at the end of the day. Like, otherwise, you're going to be arguing over your own individual preference, and it's just pointless. Do you get what I mean? So that's what I would expect. And the football will. The nice thing is the football should improve. But you know what? If man's on like 35% win percentage, we can't kick a ball still, then I'm Poch out straight away. Do you know what I mean? He's being a butler and a fraud.
And I'm there with you. Do you know what I mean? I am there with you. I just want to see progression. I just want to see us grow, man. That's literally it at the end of the day,
whatever it takes for you to be part of resistance.
I'm part of the resistance, yeah, but I'm also part of OleOut. Let me not even call it OleOut no more.
You're like Finn. You're like you've joined the resistance, but you might run away.
I'm in the resistance. I said I'm in the resistance because I want the Glazers out. However, I want better football. Do you know? I'm not even going to say OleOut no more. I'm just going to say I want better football at my club. That's what I want. Whoever brings it, brings it. I don't care no more.
I'm going to keep saying there room for that.
What is there room for? What?
That type of mentality. I want the Glazers out, but like,
no, listen.
Apprentice.
People, whatever fuels your Glazers out, I don't care. Just bring it and bring the energy towards them and Woodward. If you want better football at the same time, cool, bro.
That's with the Illuminati here. Like, I don't know if he actually qualifies. Hang on a minute, you're not dedicated. We need blood, brother. Cut your hand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 2 super chats here. First one from Ismadar saying Chelsea only lost 2-0, and it was to Liverpool with 10 men. I don't know why he's saying that.
Yeah, and Liverpool lost 6-3 with 11 man, but 6-4 everyone was
7-2. And another super chat here from Yasir saying the reason I'm so hesitant about Poch is that when he was at Southampton and Tottenham, there was literally no pressure for him to succeed. This is Manchester United. I don't, about the pressure thing. I don't think there's pressure on anyone. I don't think there's pressure on Oli. I don't think there's pressure on the players.
Come on.
There is pressure on them, but there won't be any pressure on Poch.
Because they don't act like there is pressure on them, because too many people at this club, including Oli, are way too comfortable. Like we've said this so many times.
Have you not thought maybe due to the pressure, that's how they're reacting badly to it? Because there is pressure.
So I look at Oli the other way. When I listened to Steve McManaman, who's got no love lost, he said what was really nice to see was when he saw Oli walk into the stadium, he said he just looks really relaxed and calm. And I think that's Oli's. But I would, again, this is the thing. Just because, when you look at a duck swim, on the outside, it looks like it's calm, but underneath it's going like crazy. I don't want to see a manager frantic. I don't care how much. Like, one thing I used to like every now and then, you like your manager to have an outburst. Like when Ollie kicked off after the game about Luke Shaw's injury, I didn't kind of like how Man United fans turned on him for that, and they were like, "Oh, you know, the pressure's getting to him, rare. Why didn't you do that before the game?" It's like, no, because before the game, you keep your calm, you're cool, you're collected, you want to be smooth. It's after the fact when you open your mouth and do it. I like a little rant every now and then. Fergie was like that. Fergie kept his cool week in, week out, and then every now and then when he switched, it meant something. Do you get what I mean? If you have a manager that's always frantic, it loses its effects for me.
That's why when everyone looks at Pep's doing that, no one cares anymore.
Boring now. It's like, brother, you do that when you're ordering a sandwich at Greg's, bro.
Yeah,
like,
but then again, I think when it comes to that specifically, I just think like we talked about it on this show before. I think it's just preference. Like I think Terry, you were the one that asked me like if I was still playing today, would I want a manager that's just sitting there or a manager that's actually on the touchline constantly telling me what to do? Personally, I prefer a manager that's on the touchline from minute 1 till minute 90 because
I get that.
Personally it helps me. And I think we live in an era now, and I've said this before on my channel. I said the era where you had managers that would just sit down and let the team, you know, execute the tactics because he has a lot of trust is over. I think now we live in a time where managers have to coach their players through the game from minute 1 till minute 90. That's just how it is.
The Pep thing I was talking about was more, I think he overdoes it. You know, when he'll do things like this.
That
reminds me when do that, bro. That's too much.
Please tell me you've seen that video on Twitter when the camera comes to Pep. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Pep's a bit extra. Do you know what I mean?
I've seen Klopp like walking off the pitch at Anfield, and he sees the camera on him, and he goes, "Oh, let's do it." Yeah.
I remember when Liverpool played City. And I think that it was the second penalty that didn't get awarded, and Pep just went twice.
Yeah, but you know what? Those gestures, though, as mad as he is, when LVG was the manager,
that thing against Arsenal.
That was the greatest. I loved it.
Where fans, especially fans at ground and social media, they like it. I think if Ollie, it's probably too late for him to start now.
It's too late now. It's too late.
If he'd have done a few more things, not when we won like that, but also if he'd have done a few things when we were losing like that, it brings people onto your side. Do you get what I mean? Like if he went up to, I don't know, if we're playing City in a derby soon, we're winning or whatever, and Poch says something and he goes up to squares up the post and pushes him, it'll win him fans back.
It's why the Chelsea fans love Lampard with the Klopp thing, where it's like, "Yo, you're giving it the bigger." You know what I'm saying?
Even the one between him and Jose, bruv. I love that as well, bruv.
Oh, remember Jose when we went to play Chelsea away and the guy walked past and Jose wanted to swear? Bro, I love it.
This is all I saw. He's like that, and then he just like. Straight up.
I absolutely love it. That's literally my favorite Jose moment.
My two favorite Jose moments for that terrorist. But the two favorite moments was when he got the bottles. And like
young boys.
Slammed into the ground. And then when we did that win at Juve. Yeah, young boys. And then we did that win at Juve. Man was just like, I was just like, yo, I don't like you, fam, but I rate that blood.
Yeah, I hate him.
One Jose moment everyone forgets. Do you remember when Luke Shaw and Paul Pogba were just passing the ball to each other, dilly-dallying, and he went like this? Look at these guys. They just. I've never seen Mourinho do.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, I love it, mate. He's had do you know what? It's like so many great moments from him. Of course, the sliding of the knees at Old Trafford against us when he's Porto manager. When he was Inter manager and he won, he beat Barca, and the way he celebrated on the pitch, like the man.
He's a madman. Yo, we're gonna finish with the super chat here from Brian Matunzi saying, "Thank you, Aaron, for stating that Ollie needs to be on the touchline, unlike on the iPad. Ollie did not sit down when we played against Everton and we won. So maybe Ollie just needs to stand up a bit more. Maybe.
He has been getting on the
That's all he's got to do, and everyone loves him. Just stand up. If I was Ollie, I'd stand up. I'd just sit there speaking nonsense to me, to you, to me, to you. Just chat.
Just do anything. It's the worst thing to be losing, for Ollie just to be sitting down there looking at his iPad. Because I've seen it so many times. You just be like,
Or in that, it's that pose.
So many
It's
times,
that
and we're
pose.
losing.
I can't do it right now, but like, you know, when he's just sitting there with his knee.
Oh,
like-
with his legs, yeah.
Oh, that just gets to me, bro. That literally gets to like Ollie. I love you, but like, nah, not that, bro. Not that.
Oi, every
Not
time,
that.
fam.
No, not that. But yeah, guys, that brings us to the end of that United show. A bit of a different one this week because obviously we pushed it from Sunday, to Wednesday successfully again because Arsenal lost. So
But,
maybe
bro, that's
every
why I
time
phoned
Arsenal
you.
plays,
That's why I
on
phoned
Sunday-
you.
Exactly. That's why Terry phoned me. He was like, I feel like pushing the show to Wednesday. And I've got a dodgy feeling Arsenal's going to lose again. I'm like, bruv, let's do it. And what happens? Arsenal lose again. So just maybe every time Arsenal plays on a Sunday evening, we should push the show to Wednesday.
Hang on,
because
do
it
you guys
works.
know? Do you guys know what actually happened to Arsenal though? Do you know what happened to him?
Yeah, you got bodied from start to finish, blood. Yeah.
Jack Grealish, yeah. Jack Grealish ran that game, bruv. I love
I've
it.
gotta
That
say,
was,
shout out
do you know, that was
shout
the
out to
best
Troop.
weekend for us, man. Like
Literally,
Man United
literally.
win, Liverpool and City draw, and Arsenal get brought back down to reality. I just love it. That was the
Yeah,
best
man.
weekend of football.
Bro, I saw Arteta out here on Twitter, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, man. Got to say, shout out to Troops as well, living his best life in New York at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Man's been
man.
living there for 2 seconds and he's already speaking like a New Yorker. I saw him snap on his Instagram saying he's from the projects. So, I'm thinking, so shout out to Troops, man. Much love to him over there in New York. Yeah, that brings us to the end of that United show. Like I was saying, thank you everyone who tuned in. We've had way over 1.1. I think we just under 1.2k people watching. Shout out to every single one of you. Thanks for the super chats, the live comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. It's road to 200k, and also subscribe to the newsletter so you know exactly when we're going live and who's going live at what time. That was it from us, guys. We will see you on. Are we going to do a United show on Sunday? Yes, we are. You know what I mean, because that's what we do. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you Sunday for another That United show. Peace.